Curious about the toughest games ever made? While Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree DLC is often celebrated as a monumental gaming challenge, it's far from the only title to test players' skills. FromSoftware is renowned for revolutionizing the concept of difficulty in gaming, crafting experiences that reward mastery, patience, and determination. However, the Soulsborne games weren't the first to embrace this approach. If you've just conquered another Elden Ring run and are craving a similarly punishing adventure, here's a list of the 10 most difficult games in the world right now. Flappy Bird earned notoriety for its deceptively simple yet maddeningly addictive gameplay, to the point where its creator pulled it from app stores, fueling a wave of imitators and cementing its legendary status. This minimalist game, where you guide a bird by tapping a single button to navigate through gaps, has a unique ability to hook players, driving them to keep trying, no matter how many phones it might cost them. Widely regarded as one of the hardest games ever made, Flappy Bird is set to make a comeback. In September 2024, it was announced that the game will return on desktop and web browsers in Q3 2024, with mobile versions launching in 2025. Get ready to take flight again. Returnal is a brutally challenging game that draws inspiration from third-person survival horror shooters and the Souls series. Its difficulty stems largely from strict progression mechanics, though some updates have since made it more approachable. This sci-fi journey isn't for everyone, but fans of punishing gameplay will appreciate its depth, especially in its intricate story. While Returnal can be undeniably frustrating at times, the reward of seeing it through to the credits makes the struggle worthwhile. Every Ninja Gaiden game is notoriously difficult, demanding players to master its mechanics to fully appreciate its brilliance. While there's an easy mode, opting for it comes with the game mocking you as a ninja dog. The original installment is arguably the toughest, but all 3 entries in the series are relentless tests of skill and perseverance. The combat is intense, satisfying, and brutally violent, pitting you against waves of relentless enemies attacking from every angle. Completing a Ninja Gaiden game, even on normal difficulty, is a true badge of honor, which is why the series has cultivated such a fiercely dedicated fan base. Sifu is reminiscent of classic beat-em-ups, tough, unyielding, and entirely focused on skill. Players who excel at recognizing patterns and mastering movesets will get the most out of this challenging title. While it belongs to a different genre than Elden Ring or the Souls series, it shares some notable similarities, particularly in its intense boss fights. A single mistake can spell the end of a run, and death carries a heavy price. With each failure, the protagonist ages, bringing them closer to permadeath. The more you die, the slimmer your chances of achieving revenge. This aging mechanic is similar to the Lost Souls feature in FromSoftware games, but feels even more impactful as it ties directly to your progression and survival. When Cuphead was first unveiled, Its art style seemed like a love letter to 1940s and 1950s cartoons. However, beneath its charming exterior lies one of the most challenging games ever made. Don't be fooled by its whimsical appearance. This game demands laser focus and pinpoint precision. Packed with relentless boss battles, Cuphead is as nerve-wracking as it is visually stunning. Its creativity and charm are undeniable, but it's guaranteed to test your patience like few games can. For those seeking an even greater challenge, Expert Mode awaits the truly fearless. Amid all these modern titles, let's take a nostalgic dive into gaming history with Ghosts and Goblins and prepare to die a lot. While the game can technically be beaten in under an hour, most players won't even come close. Newcomers might spend days or even weeks trying to conquer it. Though it may seem effortless when watching skilled players on YouTube, the reality is far different. Erratic enemy movements, endlessly respawning foes, a relentless timer, and countless other challenges make progress feel nearly impossible at times. Unlike Souls games, which allow you to develop your character, Ghosts and Goblins offers no such reprieve. Practice might improve your odds, but perfection is a distant dream. At its heart, Super Meat Boy is a straightforward, fast-paced platformer with polished mechanics and an engaging art style. The catch? It's relentlessly unforgiving, ready to chew players up and spit them out without mercy. Completing the main campaign is an achievement in itself, but for those who dare, the game's dark levels take the challenge to an entirely new level of difficulty. Super Meat Boy is a true classic, and only those who've endured its punishing trials and maybe shed a tear or two in frustration can fully appreciate its brilliance. Elden Ring claims third place on this list, sharing the spotlight with its predecessors, the Dark Souls trilogy, its cousin Bloodborne, and its progenitor Demon Souls. To keep this list from being entirely overtaken by FromSoftware titles, we've grouped the Soulsborne games together. Most of them adhere to a similarly punishing formula, with Elden Ring being one of the more approachable entries, though it still boasts some of the toughest late-game bosses, like Malenia and General Radon. That said, it's the original Dark Souls that truly set the benchmark for difficulty. Building on Demon Souls, it raised the stakes with an even bleaker atmosphere and a world packed with sadistic challenges that would make even a Cenobite flinch. While Elden Ring brought the series into a brighter, more expansive realm, it was Dark Souls that first ensnared players in FromSoftware's captivating web of pain and reward. Some might be surprised that Sekiro isn't included among the games tied for the number 3 spot. While it's another masterpiece from FromSoftware, it's not technically a Souls game. Though it shares similarities with titles like Dark Souls and Elden Ring, Sekiro is a brutally challenging single-player-only experience. In Souls games, you can summon allies to help tackle tough bosses, distributing the burden of battle. In Sekiro, there's no such safety net. Players must get good or face repeated failure. Mastery of the game's mechanics, along with patience, practice, and strategic thinking, is non-negotiable. Button mashers will find themselves stuck early on. Uncompromising and unrelenting, Sekiro is arguably the hardest game FromSoftware has ever created. Its lack of multiplayer assistance and refusal to make concessions amplify the challenge. However, those who overcome its trials earn a badge of honor, proof of skill that will never be questioned. Pick any of the early Contra games, and you'll quickly understand what we mean. At first, it feels punishing and frustrating, but over time, it becomes addictive, making you crave its approval. Contra is undeniably one of the toughest games ever made, setting the standard for raw difficulty that still holds up today. If you're easily stressed, it's best to steer clear. But if you're after a true challenge, this is one game that demands your full attention. Much like Ghosts and Goblins, Contra never lets up, keeping the pressure on throughout. Players must master its mechanics without a moment to regroup or panic. Staying sharp is the key to survival. Those are 10 of the hardest video games of all time. Which one do you think is the hardest? Let us know in the comments section, and thanks for watching.